Welcome to the Sparkit podcast with me, Kimaru. And today I'm super excited, honestly, to be hosting our guests. They are very brilliant women I actually grew up with. I'm proud to call them my sisters. Yeah, and honestly, today I wanted us to focus on the topic of finding our voices and how art shaped our childhood, and also part of our adulthood. Honestly, even now, actually, yes. So that's what we'll be talking about. I'm super excited to actually host them. Thank you guys for gracing us here at the Sparkit podcast, and I would love for you guys to sort of introduce yourselves. So we will start with you.
Hi, guys. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for hosting us. My name is Lydia, or you can call me Likia. I'm a fashion designer. Um, I'm a YouTuber, and I'm a mom.
Wow.
How
This is interesting. Uh-huh. It's your turn.
oh hey guys, my name is Ann and excited to be here. Yeah.
Oh, okay, impressive. So I would like to ask you guys. Remember, we're growing up, we were this very artistic family. I think all of us were sort of gifted in similar ways and also differently in our own ways. Could you probably guys talk about your experiences and how that looked like for you when we were younger? Maybe we could start with you, Kimsey.
Okay, when it comes to art, personally, for me, growing up, I used to perform with different type of arts. I used to do uh, plays, that is theater play. I used to do poetry. I used to do narratives, and I also used to do choral verse as a team. And I was the lead soloist for folk song or traditional dance. Yeah, so that was amazing. So having to being able to do all these at the same time, or having to be able to work around art in different forms was amazing for me as a child. Yeah, growing up, it was one of the major things that was filling my life or making life, giving life a meaning to me.
Wow, that's really exciting. And what about you, Annie?
Uh, I started doing poetry when I was like 9. Yeah, that is solo verses, the choral verses, both at school and in church,
Mm-hmm.
and it really helped me. Yeah, it felt good. It was a great thing to do as a kid, and even as a teenager, and it really helped a lot in making friends. And yeah, that's all.
Interesting. I think they are not giving you all the details. Okay, so anyway, but could you guys maybe give us like one experience during that time when you are sort of very much engaged with this art? Like, what's that one specific experience that sort of like really shaped you, either your love for art or how you viewed art? Yeah, something like that.
So for me, there's this one specific narrative that I did. We used to call it Situlungu. So it was a major piece that made me uh, fall in love with art, because guys, I was in a municipal school, or yeah, so having to compete in big platforms, having to compete with big schools, well-known schools, and emerging the winner, having to hold the trophy in front of these major schools, those schools that are known for this. Yeah, like every year after year, they're the ones who are carrying the trophy home, or
Yeah.
so having to perform that and moving from different levels and still being the winner, that really gave me the confidence to go out, and then the love for art. I fell in love with art, and because for me, art, when I was young, I feel like art was a way of personally expressing myself and being seen. Yeah, so having to be seen in all those platforms by all those people, like having that piece being the major piece. Actually, it was even in a magazine, having to have that as the bigger piece, of or an art that gave me the platform to express myself, becoming the winner in those small, big, major
Yeah.
theaters. That was amazing.
You
That
were
was amazing.
featured in a magazine.
Yeah, in a gazette, yes, with Kajimi, I was tall, and then Jimmy was, we did, we had that. I was super tall, and then the person who we were narrating with was kind of
A short
a
man.
short man. So that was, I guess that was one of the major things that made us even stand out in
Yeah.
those, because, yeah,
Wow.
but it was
Interesting.
great.
That must have been Situlungu.
Yeah, Situlungu, yes.
Situlungu was a short man.
Situlungu Situlungu was a small boy.
And his head.
And his head was too big. Yo, that was that was nice.
Wow.
Yeah. And it also had like that art that piece had music in it. Yeah, so we were performing the narrative itself, giving a story, and then bringing in the traditional dance in. And, it was a whole thing.
Oh wow. What about you? What was that like very specific moment that defined what poetry or art looked like for you?
As for me, there's this one time I was just a little girl. I was like 9 years in grade 3, probably. And I performed a solo verse in front of Lucy Kibaki. And the
former
deputy president was Mudiawori. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was a brownie. And yeah, the girl guide teacher saw the potential in me, and she gave me this poem, or rather a shairi, which I memorized and performed in front of them. Yeah, that was great, and it felt really, really nice. And from there, I was able to continue performing until probably when I was in high school. Yeah.
And in regards to that share of yours, you also
She was-
featured in a magazine that my mom holds
Yeah,
up
in a
to
newspaper.
date.
Yeah.
My mom has that newspaper.
She
up
has
to
a
date.
newspaper now?
Yeah, she does. She does.
She does.
Yeah, she
don't
she
know.
does have.
I don't know about that. You need to go and get your copy and
You should go
laminate.
get her album. She has
Definitely.
it.
It's supposed
Yeah.
to be mine.
I know,
Right?
But see, you should ask for it, get a photocopy, laminate,
Yeah, imagine she
and
does.
put like in a frame in your house.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for
Oh,
memories.
wow. I know, keepsake. That's really nice. So, what do you guys what do you think was the role of poetry for you in terms of how did it shape your leadership skills or something like that? Like, how did that look like for you?
For me, it was a confidence builder because the esteem, the confidence that I had on stage, and even associating or interacting with people, the confidence from the shairis and this performing in front of so many people in a very major or mega hall. A lot of people, different ages, different status, and everything. Everyone is looking at you. So it was a way for me to build confidence. For me personally, yeah. I also found it easier for me to be able to speak in front of people, be able to be confident in front of people, like express myself in different ways, because you're given a poem just for you to go ahead, memorize and everything, but now how you're going to perform, it's up to you. So you'll be led on how you're supposed to perform, but now acing that is up to you. So you have to bring out the emotions, or you'll have to let it come from inside.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was a very good way to express myself.
Did it eventually lead you to sort of doing any leadership roles at school or
Yeah, it did, because at that age, when I was in primary school, I was a commandant in Girl Guide, so I used to lead. I was a commandant in Girl Guide, actually a municipal one, because
Oh, wow.
I used to command until a certain incident called parade. So I used to command and give commands to people. So like having to lead a lot of people, different places, was amazing. Also, doing art also gave me the, like, as I said, I started with poetry, then folk song, then later on I used to do plays, and then I started now writing and directing. That was the major, like I wrote an entire play and directed it until the finals. Like they went to the finals where we had a major camp to perform, and then during that, my main role play, or what are they called? My main cast, she wasn't feeling well. Then I had to fit in her shoes and do that play. So that was amazing. I felt like, being a director at a young age.
How old were you?
That was, I was like, for that one, I was in
Were you in high school or primary school?
my my last year, class 8, yeah.
You were
My
in-
last year of class 8, yeah.
You
My
were
last year of primary.
primary school?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
that's
And you're already a
nice.
producer, director,
know, I know.
screenwriter.
Okay.
Look at you. You need to
Yeah,
tap
it was a
into
major
your
one.
talent, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I should go back to that.
Oh wow. And for you?
As for me, it built the confidence. And later in high school, I was a class representative. Yeah, all through high school, from Form 1 to Form 4. It really helped. Yeah, standing in a crowd and addressing, and commanding. Like you could tell the class, oh, please, guys, do this and this and this. And people are able to listen to you. Yeah, that was good. And it really helped.
Wow. So what I'm hearing from you guys, it's like it built your confidence, public speaking skills, leadership. You ended up being prefect. Others were commanders. Oh my God, this is amazing. I think for me, what I would say, because now I also did this poetry. I did poetry from, I think, also when I was around 8 or 9, and it actually, I still do poetry to date. Yes, yes, yes. For me, I would also say the same thing. It built me as a child. I felt seen. I could command a stage. I would embody like the poem, become it, release all the emotions, and standing in front of a crowd, convincing like judges, like you are the it,
I know.
and they select you and you win.
Yeah.
I think for me, it sort of really also defined like even my personality at some point. Because I remember even in high school, I never wanted to miss out. I actually attended all the Kenya music festivals, like all of them up to Form 4, regardless of whether the school had agreed Form 4s should actually do it or not. Yeah, they never actually used to allow it, but I did. But for me, just the same as you guys, it built my confidence, my self-esteem, my public speaking, and it felt nice to also be able to, become a poem, you know. Wow, that's interesting. But do you guys remember that time when at church? Because I think for us, art, we did art at church and at school. Do you remember that particular Saturday Sunday we missed church, and how furious the teachers were? What were they asking, ma'am?
If tuliacha kanisa.
Translated to?
If how do I put it? If tuliacha kanisa.
Did you leave the church?
Yeah, did you stop? Did you leave the
Did you
church,
stop
or
going
what's
to
not
church?
happening? Are we okay? Actually, they're thinking, is everything
okay
okay
at home?
at home? Is everything okay? Because from what I know, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like 5 of us were performing at church
Yes.
the same time. Yeah. Imagine 5 kids from the same household, of the same family, both of you missing church, and you're the ones that the church will know, like unaona kama, like that time where maybe Sunday school come in, do a piece for us, perform for us. You'll see Elena starting twaingia, like she's the one leading.
She's the one leading, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
So you can imagine at one Sunday, and everyone is looking, they can't see the Kimaru's family. Everyone is just
Yeah.
peeping, and it was really, really concerning. And our mom is there. So everyone was asking, hey, where are the
Where are the
children? Where are the
kids?
kids?
Yeah.
Is everything okay at home?
And then I remember, like, after that, all the other Sundays, my mom would be the first one to wake us up on a Sunday. She's like, hey, please get ready. You need to go.
You need to go to church. Yeah, true.
I know.
We never, after that, we never missed church, even a single day.
Interesting. And also, maybe another thing is, how did also, like, the fact that we were always at the top of everything. If there's a drama happening at church or at school, you're chosen for the main roles. How did, like, that build you up? Like, how did that feel to be selected as either you're the one representing or you're the one holding this very major role in a drama as kid? How did that feel for you guys?
So from I believe if you've been watching this episode, you know this podcast. There's a story that she narrated. What episode is it?
I think it was like the second episode, the one
Rising
rising
from
from
Ashes.
ashes.
Yes, Rising from Ashes. Yeah. So that episode has a backstory for us. Yeah. So using that backstory for me now, having to be in church or in school and being selected, it made me feel seen. Made me feel like very important. It was a way for me to fit in, and like just knowing that there are people there who are they can see you. They
Yeah.
like it was amazing for me. It was easier. It was an easy way for me to get together with people, and also and now fit in that car because we had different class. Yeah. So have it was a way for me to fit in and feel important. I was feeling really really important because there's someone who can recognize me. I know I'm important in my own skill. There's something that I'm able to offer. As much as there's nothing else I can offer, this one thing, the art in me, I'm able to offer, and people will appreciate. That was great. That made me feel seen.
As for me, it was a boost to my self-esteem, right? And it really made me make friends, and it really felt at home, right? Yeah, being able to be chosen, like I can say that the people around me can see the potential in me, and I was a quiet guy,
Yeah.
child, yeah.
Very.
So it was really it really helped with making friends and helping me express myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Okay, now maybe to go back to what Kimsey was trying to say, we did go through like a traumatic experience. How do you think like art helped you either process the emotions or just navigate through life with regards to that particular experience?
So now that I'm a grown up, I can. At that time, it helped me get through a lot, and so what I can name at the moment as therapy. Yeah. So for me, it was an easy way to um, outshadow all the other things, or just forget my pain for a moment, just
Yeah.
forget my trauma for a moment, and having to like I given you're given a poem that is very very emotional, something that you can relate to, something that so when you on that stage, when you're trying to perform the art or the poem itself, you're letting out the pain, the emotions, the feelings, the trauma. So people will be like, oh my god, she's really really performing it, yeah. And you'll win a trophy because you have performed it. But when it comes to you deep down, you already know like this line is really 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 cutting deep, so I feel like for me it was a type of therapy. And also I used art at that time to run away from a lot. I used it to run away from a lot.
Like an escape.
It was like an escape for me, yeah. And that's why I couldn't miss any. If there's choral verse, I'm there. If there's drama, I'm there. If there's solo verse, I'm there. Like I could perform 5 pieces at the same event, and I could make sure that I'm acing them, all of them, because again, as I've told you, it was a way for me. It was, having to go home, sleep, and then the next day you just practicing the entire day. That is like 18 hours or 16 hours of thinking about anything
Yeah.
or your situation. Yeah, so it was an escape for me.
Makes sense. And you?
For me, since it was really engaging and I could be able to mingle with different people, different kids from different backgrounds, it really helped. Yeah. Yeah, you could always forget, like, I had friends. I really have good friends until now, since my childhood. We could go from church, go to their place,
Yeah.
yeah, as we continue rehearsing. And you see, so that really helped because no one could see your background. They could really see
The
you.
talent.
Yeah, they could see the talent, right? Oh yeah. So that's it for me.
Yeah, it's by the that is.
No, that's actually very true because I think at church we were so exceptional that at the end of the day people could not see like the challenges we had. It became more of the talent that we bring to the table.
Big family.
Yeah, like you're there, you can lead a folk song, you can do a poem, you can act in a drama, you can write a whole script, like direct other children to actually do it. And I remember, actually, speaking of the poetry becoming sort of an escape, I remember there's this poem. Remember the one, food is little.
Children crying. No mother to nurse.
Brothers, mothers,
Mothers.
No
No,
man in the villages.
all are
All are
gone.
gone. Ah,
Gone for days without an end.
fire.
No, there was like, morning songs are heard from afar, weeping
Weeping
is
is
hard
hard
too.
too.
Women are
They're crying
for their
children.
children. And love for what? Something like that. Yeah.
For the lost gone sons.
I know. Fire, fire. Houses are on fire. What has caused it? We wonder. They came at night. We were too weak to wake up. They stole our food from the stores. They have burnt everything. We carried our belongings, running for our dear lives.
No place to go.
Mhm.
Screams, shouts, fear.
That was a major one. And you found it.
Yes, that was actually.
You cried yourself out.
That was exactly what you were saying. So for me, this particular poem, this was my very, very first poem, and the first time I was set out on a stage to actually act out a poem or something like that. And I remember, as we were rehearsing this poem, because as you guys said, the teacher who was our teacher at school was the same teacher at church. So she knew our talent. And she particularly chose me. And I feel like also it's because she sort of knew our story. Yeah, like what we had gone through. And this poem, I can't even tell you who wrote it and what was the intention behind it. But at this point, if you have listened, if you have listened to our podcast on Rising from Ashes, it sort of embodied like what we had gone through, the whole experience. And I remember this teacher telling me like, hey, tap into your emotions, remember your story. And as Kimsey was saying, at the end of the day, I ended up crying a lot in that poem when I was performing it on stage. And that's how I actually won the category. Because for me, it was sort of, you're reflecting on things you've already gone through. It's like literally your personal experience. So when you're channeling these emotions, it's a story you are telling. So maybe the people who are seated on the other side of the stage, they probably think like, oh my God, this kid can actually... I know, like she can literally become the poem. So for me, I would say also poetry became an escape, as she said, because, and also, you go through it, you do it, and eventually it's like, yeah, wow, interesting. Yeah, so for me, yeah, that for me, I would say was also how I found a way to navigate. It also became like therapy. Yeah, poetry became like therapy for all of us, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So anyway,
I feel like it's just like that until now, because for me personally, when I write, there's a way I know when I'm going through something, there's a way I'll go ahead and write something, just scribble some words to put my emotions together in a piece of paper, and then feel relieved, or like those days when you perform that, you'll cry and cry and cry, and then when you come out of that stage, you get a trophy, you forget for a minute, you forget that or the whole thing. So I feel like that is therapy until now. It's working for me personally.
wow, that's true. So maybe as we wind up, what do you think was the role of mom in us, like sort of becoming who we became, the support she sort of offered? Like for you, what would you say? What role did she play in your artistic journey?
She really played a great role. She saw the potential in us, and she pushed us.
Yeah.
She was like, go to church, perform, you given this, memorize it, yeah, do this. Yeah, she really impacted us greatly. Yeah, she was a very great support system.
And you?
Hey, my mom is the goat. Hey, that woman, she did a lot. And then the fact that she's also into art, or she was also into art, actually she is until now, yeah? Because even when it comes to the women at church, she also used to act and do the moshongwa, the folk songs, those traditional dances. She used to do that, yeah? So having to watch her perform and do that, it felt like, so this is it runs in the family. So if my mom can do this, why not me? And then have pushing us, making sure that we perform. Like for her, there's this poem that we always do for weddings. Yeah, for her, she used to make sure that we performed in every single wedding that came through. Every single, as long as there's a wedding mentioned, she'll be like, "You guys are performing. You guys are performing." And we had no choice but to just, because it's not something that we'll say no to. She has already stated that you're going to do it, and then her pushing you, it felt like, oh. And also she had a way of appreciating us, because as I mentioned, for those folk songs, preparing for those art pieces, she made sure that she was present. Like she could be with us the whole night, trying to create those costumes, do the traditional accessories. She made sure that she was present and made sure that her presence was known, because you could be singing a folk song or the traditional dance with a skirt that your mom made. It was amazing. Well,
Yeah.
she burnt the whole night with you guys trying to prepare that.
And speaking of actually the sort of help that we got from her, I remember also she was the one person who at some point when you guys, I think I had left for high school, you guys started doing like poems and people would pay you. How was that experience for you? And the fact that she was the one even looking out for you guys in terms of finding these opportunities and stuff like that. Maybe Anne could probably tell us how like they ended up actually getting paid to perform.
She was our personal manager.
I know.
There was this shairi we were saying, we were or narrating in weddings. So mom used to like we went to one for a wedding, and they were like, "Oh, you're doing good. This is perfect." And they'll just give us a token of appreciation, and this went on for a while, so we could be called for most weddings in our church, in different places. So if you perform in this during this wedding, the next person to see you will be like, "Oh, that was a great performance. During my wedding you'll come." So we just used to change the names of the bride and the groom,
Yeah.
and we just go perform. So we used to go to a lot of weddings, yeah, and they pay us
I
for
know.
the performance. Yeah,
And just to mention, actually, that poem was also written by one of our older sisters.
sure thing.
Yeah, so it's amazing. Like, yeah.
We did capitalize on it we did capitalize on it as a family, because now imagine it's a poem written by your sister, and then you guys are performing and getting to make money out of it.
Yeah.
Then as I said, my mom was a personal manager, because she was like, "You're going to that wedding? Good job, you did
They
a great
invited
job."
us.
Yeah, and then
refusing.
Yeah.
yeah, and she believed in us, because we used to even leave town, and she'd be like, "You guys be good girls and boys, just go." She will just release us, we go perform, and then come back. And it was amazing when you come back with the token, and she'll be like, "Oh, nice, that was great, you did great."
Oh, yeah.
It felt so good. But then she knows how to appreciate us in so many ways.
So maybe one other question. Now that we see the role like mom played in our lives, and now for you, Kimsey, you said you're a mom and you have a wonderful son.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I know he's the best. Yeah. So, what do you think? The other day when you guys called, he was on call and he's like, "Oh, I want to say a poem for you, auntie." I'm like, "Yeah, please go ahead." How do you think also the childhood what you went through? How did it shape you to become now the mother you are now, in terms of sort of also molding your baby to becoming, I mean, you in terms of art? Because now he's performing, he's playing music, he's doing poetry. How has that looked like for you?
For me, having to watch him grow up and loving art is amazing. It's not something that I taught him personally. It's something like he just brought it out. Yeah, he picked it out from different. I don't know whether it's me or I don't know, but I used to play him things that we do, or I used to, there's this poem, "There's a hole in my bucket, dear mama, dear mama, there's a hole in my," yeah, I used to play that for him. So when he joined school, he's actually turning 5, yeah? So when he joined school, this term, he was like, "Mama," he told me last time that he wants to join music. And I was like, "Yeah, sure, you can go ahead and join music." So on his 4th birthday, he requested me to get him a guitar, and I was like, so I bought him a guitar just to because he requested for it, yeah. But I didn't know that it was a way for me to make sure for him to know, it was a way for him to express. So the next thing that he requested for was a recorder. recorder.
he told me he wants a xylophone.
Yeah, so he asked for a recorder. I gave him. So school they're training that. But now when it came to that poem, it was a surprise to me because he did a poem with his classmates. They went and performed. They won a trophy, and it was exciting to him. It felt so great. So for me, seeing him that happy, and knowing that he's falling in love with art, not because I've forced him, but it's coming from within. It feels great. It feels great. That is amazing. So I can't wait to see him grow and being a mini me performing. I'm going to tap into that. I'm going to make sure, just the way my mama gave me support, I'm going to support him in all ways because I can't. For me, I didn't go to theater later in life, but I wouldn't mind to see him in a movie or in a yeah. So I'll keep on pushing him towards that.
Interesting. Wow. What about you, Nje? What do you think in future once you get kids, for example? What do you think you would do for them as far as art is concerned now that it shaped your childhood?
As for me, if I identify the potential in my kid, I'll just give them my full support. Yeah, show them to navigate here and there and provide for them whatever they need so that they can be able to achieve their goal. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow, that's very interesting. Thank you guys for honestly showing up and giving us your side of the story.
You're
You know,
welcome.
I
Thank you for
know.
hosting us.
It's easy to tell people like, oh, I come from an artistic family,
yeah.
but when people hear it from you guys, I believe they can actually understand what I mean by saying I come from an artistic family. So I do feel like art for us was, it gave us confidence. It gave us a platform to express ourselves. It taught us leadership skills. We became good public speakers because of art. It taught us how to network. As she just said, she made like a lot of friends because she was doing poetry. It healed us. It's
Yeah.
still healing us through
Sure.
all maybe the things we've gone through life. That's like sort of what I would summarize this episode, for you guys. And maybe do you have like any last words before we wind up?
I don't think so, but thank you for hosting us.
Thank you
Yeah.
for showing up.
Yeah, it has been great. Thank you so
You're
much for
welcome.
hosting us. We appreciate. Patrick, can't wait to have you on the next episode.
Definitely.
Yeah, but Patrick
Yeah.
is missing out. Yeah, but thank you guys for showing up. We appreciate you guys, and yeah, to our listeners and our viewers, thank you for watching this packet podcast, and also for supporting us on all our social media platforms. Catch our next episode on all podcasting platforms and on YouTube. And yes, thank you so much. If this episode has sparked some interest for you, you can share it with your loved ones and keep it at the Sparkit podcast. Thank you and bye.
Bye bye.
It's packets.